Welcome, you gorgeous miracles. I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome to our miracle membership call. Welcome, welcome, welcome for my beautiful miracles who are here live and my beautiful miracles who are on replay and my beautiful miracles who are joining us on the podcast because this episode is going to be featured on the Girls Who Recover podcast, which for those of you who are here live, mark your calendar. It's January 7th. Yay! And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, just know this has been a dream in the making, which is my whole work in the world is to help women create dreams in their lives so that we can have lives that take our breath away. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We have such a beautiful agenda for our call today. Before we get started though, I'd love for you to drop a holiday highlight in the chat. Holiday highlight. So if you're listening to this later on in 2025, we're in the middle of holiday season. We just wrapped Christmas. We're in the middle of Hanukkah. New Year's is next week, and there's so much holidaying happening. I'd love to hear from you in the chat, your holiday highlight. And I'm going to out myself and tell you that my family and I love the holidays. We like to do all the things. This year, we tried to scale back just a little bit so that we could have all the peace. But my holiday highlight was the Christmas nap I took on Christmas Day. It's an epic tradition for me in my life, and that's really all what mom wants for Christmas is her Christmas Day nap. So that was my highlight. I see sharing meals with friends. Yes, food and friends. And Charlotte, I saw yours at the Roosevelt Hotel. So fancy with your friends celebrating the holidays. I love that so much. And I love that nobody on the call said anything about anything material, did we? Because we know that the best gifts are gifts of the spirit, which show up in rest and show up in friends and relationship and often show up in meals where there's so much joy and nourishment. And it's not anything that you can take home and shove in your closet. It's something that gets to live and breathe through you, through your spirit. So thank you for sharing that with me. At the beginning of every call, and this call is no exception, we are going to generate state. So if you're listening for the first time, generating state is a practice that we use to create miracles in our lives. And it has three parts. One is the breath, which brings us home to ourselves and invites in the spirit of the universe. Two is the template of gratitude, something we're feeling really grateful for, which shifts our energy, our vibration up and wakes us up to all the good there is. And the third thing is something we're feeling really proud of right now, something that you did, that you took action on, that you're feeling proud of. So without further ado, I'm going to break out my favorite tool for transformation, which is my magic wand. And I'll invite you to break out your magic wand at home as well. And let's take a deep breath in together. Breathing in this moment, possibility, expansion, and let's breathe out together, blowing out like you're blowing through a straw. And that breath settles the nervous system. It brings us back into our body. Let's take another breath in through the nose. I'm holding my wand because our attention is on. We're waking up with the breath, and then we're going to release, blowing out on the exhale, letting go of everything that is not in this moment. And let's take one more intentional breath in. Maybe put your hand on your belly and feel yourself breathe. Being in your body, being in your breath, coming home to what is right now and present and available, and exhaling everything that's outside of this moment. The breath brings us into the now, which is all there is. It brings us out of mind into heart, where we'll go next. I want you to bring to your heart the thing you're feeling most grateful for right now. Most grateful for right now. And you might take another breath there. Maybe it's the sun. Maybe it's your house slippers. Maybe it's the great news you got. Maybe it's the meal you shared. Bring to your heart something you're feeling really grateful for. Remembering that gratitude is a feeling experience. It happens in the heart, the generator. Give me a nod when you've got your thing you're feeling grateful for. Yeah. And then we'll finish out generating state by going into your body, into your heart, connecting your spirit, and feeling really proud of something that you did to move one step closer to your dream. Something that you did that you're feeling proud of. Your hands, your feet, your voice, your texting thumbs. What's something that you did that you're feeling really proud of? God, give me a nod when you've got that. Yeah. Okay. And we'll take one more breath together and exhale. And I'd love to hear from you if you want to come off mute, or you can type it in the chat, the thing you're feeling grateful for, or the thing you're feeling proud of, or quickly. If you can do it quickly, I'd love to hear both. Something you're feeling grateful for, something you're feeling proud of. The floor is yours. Let's raise the energy in the call. Go ahead.
I'm extremely grateful for this Christmas. It was the first Christmas that I celebrated with my husband. We celebrated our daughter who died in 2018. And I was able, I'm very grateful for that. It was a peaceful time. We had lots of memories. It was awesome. It wasn't all hiding and down and everything. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And I'm also very proud of that we were able, I was, and that my husband joined me, that we were able to do that. We just celebrated her life and enjoyed each other.
Pam, that sounds like a miracle to me. Is that a miracle to you? Yeah, I can feel that.
Miracle.
Gratitude to be able to celebrate, and proud of you for taking the action to do that. When you could have taken action, like you said, to stay down, to stay dark, to stay hidden, and instead you shone the light on the beauty of your daughter's life and celebrated her. Wow. Let's hold energy for Pam. Gorgeous. When we celebrate each other and we share our gratitudes and we share our proud of, we level up the energy, not just for us, but for everybody around us, on the call, off the call. And we create a more beautiful world that we get to live in, that we get to serve in, that we get to walk in. Thank you, Pam. Okay, Charlotte, would you love to share?
Yes. The thing that I'm most grateful for right now is my best friend forever. Her name is JoJo. I'm at her home. We spent Christmas together, and I appreciate her so much because this was kind of a spur of the moment decision for me to come visit her, since I found out I wasn't going to Salt Lake City to visit my grandson. So it's very special. And then what I'm proud of right now is that Charlotte has decided she has to budget on paper and pen and not in her head.
Let's hold energy for you're grateful for this trip. I think you're in Florida, are you not?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
Florida looks so good on you. So you're grateful to be with your best friend JoJo, and you're proud of you for budgeting on pen and paper. And that is something to be proud of. And sometimes that can feel scary, not to project on you, but that can feel scary to get what's in my head on paper, whether it's budgeting or dreaming or envisioning or whatever it is, to move it from mind to paper, to see what is, to be with what is. And I think you'll have more to be grateful for when you do that, and more to feel proud of. And that feeling of proud of gives you the momentum to keep going. So we're going to celebrate you, Charlotte. We'll hold energy for you. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm feeling so grateful for, I just took 3 days off. Just grateful to be able to just be. I very rarely take time off because I'm always excited about the next thing that I'm creating and posting and writing and creating, pitching and all the things. But I took 3 days and I just was with my family and took care of myself and spent time with my husband. So I'm grateful for that time just to be. And I'm proud because I am listening to my voice of intuition, which helped me create my next offer. And I'm going to share that with you at the end of the call. I'm so excited about it. So I'm proud to have done that work and then to be brave enough to put it out in the world. So hold energy for that, celebrating each other for all the things we're grateful for and all the things we're proud of. And if you're listening in, I want you to say out loud, wherever you are, one thing you're feeling grateful for and one thing you're feeling proud of, because everything is energy. Every dream you have, every hope you have, every goal that you're setting, everything is energy. And when we can shift the energy up, make it more positive and more joyful and more grateful and more, that is the energy of abundance. That is the energy of everything that you love for yourself, which is the core of our call today. So I'm excited to segue into the promise for today's call, which is a reflection back so that we can create forward. And if you're new to my community, know that there are two ways to live. Most of us are asleep and we're living by default, rolling with the punches, hoping the day's going to go well, hoping it's our best year ever, hoping, and then just saying things like, life on life's terms, or it is what it is. And I'm actually here to tell you, it is what you create it to be. And life is beautiful. So whenever we say life on life terms, we better be talking about beauty and miracles and abundance. And if not, then we want to shift over to the second way to live, which is my work in the world, which is a life by design, where we don't hope it's going to happen. We create it, and we create our energy to be wide receivers for this gorgeous abundance that's already ours. It's already our birthright, and it's already available to us when we tune in to the radio station of everything you've ever wanted. The only reason why it's not available to you now is because you're either in resistance or you're tuned into the wrong radio station, okay? When you shift your frequency, which is what we just did by creating gratitude, by creating, I'm so proud of me, you felt that energy in the room go up, yeah? Not just, okay. And so by doing that, you opened yourself up to receive more, and you tuned in your radio station to the frequency of abundance. And you know that in this room right now, if you have a radio, you're in your car, there's a radio and it's got about, let's say 50 stations. I don't know exactly. Let's say 50. And you can tune into the station that you'd like based on how you're feeling. Do you know you can hear jazz in 5 seconds, and then you can hear blues in 5 seconds, and then you can hear hip hop, and you decide based on the radio station. Life is just like the radio station, except for you are the receiver. You get to decide, what am I going to tune into today? Is it something to be grateful for? Or is it something I feel is lacking? Is it something I'm proud of? Or is it something I'm angry about that I can't let go? You get to decide your own station. And the more we decide to tune into the station of life is so good, I'm so grateful, I'm so proud of me, even the smallest bits, life is always going to play you a love song. And then it's going to start delivering to you everything you've ever loved. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of you tuning into the right radio station, the one that speaks love and joy and abundance and gratitude. And you receive. So, are we ready to receive through the process of reflecting? Yes. Hopefully you've got a notebook. That would be helpful. If you're driving, don't use your notebook. You can use your mind. Think about it, but do come back with a notebook. So grab your notebook, grab your pen, and I am going to guide us through 8 questions to reflect on 2024. But before we go through the questions, I want to talk about why we would even do this. Why would we invest this time to look back on our year, instead of just being like, okay, well, it's done. This is what I used to do. Oh, okay, it's done. It's time for me to set New Year's goals and New Year's resolutions, and I'm just going to keep going. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And I don't know if you know that movie, Finding Nemo, but Dory always says, Dory has lost her memory. She just says, just keep swimming, and she swims around in circles and has no idea who she is or where she's going or even where she's been. Dory is like most of us, asleep at the wheel, going in circles because we're not awake enough to look back, to use the lessons and the miracles that are already available to us in our recent past, and transfer them in as we like into the future that we get to design. We get to design 2025. It will not happen on accident. It will either happen because you design it or because it's default. You're on default mode. So let's get on the design train. So our purpose for reflection is to celebrate the miracles that have been, so we can decide what are we transferring into 2025 and what are we allowing to die? What are we allowing to burn off? Kind of like a forest, a controlled forest fire, to burn off so that the whole forest can grow green and bright in your next year. And remember, your next year starts right now. So you don't have to wait till the clock turns or the ball drops. You get to do this process right now. And I'll take you through these questions. Know that you can use them at any time. You can use them for the last month, for the last week, for the last 24 hours, for the last hour, so that you can design intentionally the next hour, the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year, your whole life. By design. You get to choose the radio station. So let's get to it. You got your pen? You've got your notebook. I'm so proud of me. I took written notes this time. Normally, if you've ever been in my calls, you know I ditch the slides, I ditch the formality, and I just really operate in flow. This time, I am actually creating a resource that I'm going to share with the public. So I typed the questions. But I'm just going to share them with you verbally. So what I'd love for you to do, we're going to take just 2 or 3 minutes to just be present. And we're going to go into accessing the spirit, coming home to ourselves, and resting in a very gentle meditation. So you can set down your journal, set down your pen, and we are going to, give me a thumbs up if you can hear the sound. Yeah, great. So let's take a breath in together and close our eyes. I invite you to place one hand on your heart if that feels good for you. Maybe another hand on your stomach. And another breath in. Out. We're going to invite in the spirit of love into the room with the next breath. You might bring it into your heart, bring it into your body. Breath in, we're welcoming love, which is all there is. And on the exhale, we're going to release anything that doesn't feel like love. Let it go. Knowing that anything that isn't love isn't real. So we're letting go of anything that's unreal. Breathe in, welcoming more space, more possibility, more love. Let your heart expand into the now. You might feel the beating of your heart on your hand. And on the exhale, let go of anything that doesn't feel like love. Maybe doubt, maybe fear or shame or guilt. Let go. On the next breath, you'll feel the beating of your heart. Breathe into the heart space. Love and more love and more love. Welcome love into your heart, into your body, into your now, which is all there is. All there is now. All there is love. Let's feel those together. And on the exhale, we're going to begin to send out love to the call. Breath in again. We'll breathe in more love, more expansion, more opportunity, possibility, and on the exhale, send out love into the space you're in. And another inhale, breathing in more love, feel your heart expand even further, even wider. And on the exhale, send more love into the town you're in. Feel your heart expand as you release love. Breathe in again, welcoming more love, more presence, more spirit, more now, more yes, more you. And on the exhale, send that love out into your whole state. Florida, wherever you are, send it out now. On the next breath in, breathe in more love, like the whole state is sending you love right back. Feel it in your heart. Let your heart expand. Feel love all through your body, all through your heart, all through your spirit. And on the exhale, send out love to the whole United States. Feel it reach across the north and the south and the west and the east and every town and every city and every village and every farm. And then breathe in as if you're receiving love back from the whole country, from your brothers and sisters who are one with you in the spirit, creations of the Creator, pieces of the Master. And on the exhale, send out love to the whole earth, letting your heart fling wide open, sending your love to the continents, to the oceans, to the rivers, to the animals, to everything that exists. And on our next breath, receive that love back. Feel the earth turning, sending you love from every town and every person and every human, young and old. Receive it in your heart. Feel your heart expand with love, remembering who you are and whose you are. And on the exhale, breathe that love out into the universe. And let's just spend the next few seconds resting in the resonance of who you are and whose you are, which is love. You come from love. Your purpose is love. Your destiny is love. Your dreams are love. You are love. And on our final breath in together, let's breathe in love. Breathe as much love into the present moment as you can. And on the exhale, I want you to send that love all the way back through 2024. Big exhale, send it all the way out. December, June, March, January. So that your whole 2024 is lit up with love, loving presence, loving awareness, a remembrance of who you are, love, the life you live, love, or a call for love. When you feel ready, I'll invite you to notice the beating of your heart on your hands. Give your toes and fingers a little wiggle and come back to the room. Welcome back. Okay, now that we've generated state, we've remembered who we are and come home to ourselves, love. Let's pick up our pen. You might use your phone camera roll as a resource. You don't have to, but I love my camera roll because it allows me to remember what my mind has forgotten. So I've got my phone, I've got my camera roll from the last year pulled up, and we're gonna go through a few questions together as we think about, we reflect on our 2024 in a way that allows for loving presence, loving kindness, only love. Number one, as you move through either the camera roll of your mind or the camera roll of your phone, what are your highlights? Let's spend 2 minutes just going through and noting the highlights of 2024. Maybe something that brought you joy, something that brought you gratitude, something that you feel so proud of. And I'll drop this in the chat. What are your highlights from 2024? What brought you the most joy and gratitude? What are you most proud of? When you find something that's a highlight, I want you to jot it down in your journal. When we look for highlights, our brain focuses on what we love, it increases our energy, and it tells us what we want to repeat in the year ahead. So I'll give you 2 minutes just to locate your highlights, and let's jot down a few. Let's try to get 3 highlights down in our journal. Something you're feeling like, oh, I forgot about that. Yes, I love that. All right, take a few more seconds, pick another one, jot it down. All right. So, highlights of 2024. I wrote down, I was looking at my camera roll and I was like, oh, we took so many trips. We went to the Grand Canyon. We went to Oklahoma. I went on a bunch of field trips with my daughters. We went to the beach in Alabama. We went to spend Easter in Fairhope. And I can't read my handwriting on this one, but I want to tell you why we do this. Why do we look at the highlights? Few reasons. One is it makes us feel good, right? Which is the whole point of everything. Feeling good creates opportunities for you to receive more good. So that's point number 1 is yay, you feel good. And 2 is it reminds us what brings us joy, what's important to us so that we can repeat it intentionally in 2025. So ask yourself as you reflect on your highlights, what are the themes? What did you notice? And what comes up for you is a direction for 2025. So we're reflecting back so that we can create forward. So I'm reflecting back, my highlights included a bunch of travel and adventures. That cues me that the things that bring me joy are traveling and adventures, which means my calendar for 2025 is going to include travel and adventures with my family. And it won't happen by accident. It will be intentionally planned on my calendar. But I wouldn't know what to plan if I didn't reflect back and ask myself the question, what brought me the most joy? What am I most proud of? My business is another one. I'm really proud of starting and launching and growing my business. So that cues me into that's where I want to focus 2025. Give me a nod if you've got a highlight. Yeah. That gives you a direction for beautiful in 2025. More of that, please. More of that, please. Okay, beautiful. So we reflected on our highlights. That this process doesn't have to end. It will end today at the end of this call, but you can take these questions and spend more time on them if you'd love to. Part of the reflection process is my favorite thing to do at the end of the year. Question number 2. Stay with your camera roll. There may not be pictures of the next question, so you might need to drop into your mind, to your heart, maybe a calendar, wherever might have captured this. But the next question is, what were the hardest parts of the year? What were the hardest parts of the year? And what lessons did I learn as a result of walking through those hard things? You know, I love to say we can do hard things. So the question is, what were the hard things and what did I learn as a result? So we'll take 2 minutes again to ask ourselves the question, what were the hard moments, the hard parts of 2024, and what lesson did I learn as a result? And I'll drop that in the chat if you need it. You can find them and then start writing. The hard parts of the last year and the lessons I learned as a result. One more minute. The hard parts of 2024 and what I learned as a result. Right, finish that one up. Woo! The hard parts. I don't love to think about, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't love to think about the hard parts. You know, I love to focus on the things I love and the things that are positive. But what happens when I don't acknowledge the hard parts is that I forget that I can do hard things. I forget that I can walk through moments of fear and doubt and uncertainty. And I don't remember how big the creator of the universe is. Because there were, I don't know about you, but in some moments of my 2024, I didn't think I was going to make it. When I quit had a 6-figure corporate job and I quit that sort of spontaneously to pursue my dreams and really chase after this big, beautiful vision for a life I love in business and in finances. I went through this like 6 to 8 week period of my nervous system being in total shock, panic. What did I do? Terrified. My husband and I are arguing. And what I learned from that is number one, I can do hard things because I am safe and protected in the arms of the creator of the universe. Can't do hard things just because I'm awesome, although I am. I do hard things linking arms with the creator of the universe. The thing that beats my heart, the thing that gave me the direction to quit my job and go for this. And you get to be in the middle of that. So the hard part was being afraid. And what I learned was I can move in action in the middle of fear because I have the creator of the universe at my back. And the creator, I don't know about you, I do know about you. So let me just say it out loud. The creator of the universe, God, spirit, Dolly Parton, whatever you're calling it right now, has your back. It's working in your favor. It wants good for you. In every spiritual text, it says, my plan is for you to have an abundant life, a prosperous life, a rich and full life. That's every spiritual text has that promise in it. So what I learned is when I try to do things on my own, I'm terrified. And when I lean into the loving arms of a creator, I'm held, I'm safe, I'm protected, and I can walk in the middle of fear and then walk out the other side into this call with you. We wouldn't be here if I hadn't done that. You wouldn't be here reflecting on your life if I hadn't done that hard, scary thing. Give me a nod if you found something that was hard and also found something that you learned as a result. Yeah. Beautiful. And so what we're doing is a couple of things. One is I was reading a book with a woman earlier, and the author was joking that we're like mice, put us in a maze and we're going to try all the different things. But what differentiates us from the mice is that once the mouse makes a mistake, it's not going to make it again. Sometimes we get to make the same mistakes over and over and over until we learn to let go. Which is the second reason why we reflect on the hard parts, is so we can let them go. We can let go of the fear and the doubt and the setbacks of 2025. You can literally set them down and decide and choose and step into your power as the decision maker, supported by a loving creator, of what you're going to take with you into 2025, which is the lesson. So we're letting the setback be what it is, where it was. And instead, we're going to pick up the lesson, which is you can do hard things. You're safe and protected. You're brave. You're bright. You're beautiful. And you can take that into 2025. What you put in your backpack for 2025, for your adventures of 2025, you get to pack. You get to put what goes in your backpack, and you can take out, I'm not good enough. You can take out, I'm too scared. You can take out, I need to budget in my head. And you can let that live in 2025. And what you can put in your backpack to move into 2020, I'm sorry, leave it in 2024, my girl. What you can put in 2025 is up to you. It's what you learned. It's your lesson. You're brave. You're protected. You can trust whatever your lesson was. That's what we can decide to take forward. Okay, we are moving along gorgeous. So we've reflected on our highlights. We've reflected on the hard and the lessons, so we can let the hard go and lesson into the future. And so the next question is, what did I learn about myself this year? What did I learn about myself this year? And that can be a high, and that can be a low. And so you can go in your camera or go in your calendar or go in your heart, and let's spend 2 minutes answering the question, what did I learn about myself this year? Highs of what I learned about myself? What were the lows of what I realized about myself? any more seconds. What did I learn about myself this year? All right. Just give me a nod if you got something that you learned about yourself this year. Highs, nods for highs, nods for lows. Okay, so I want to share a couple of mine. So I learned the highs were that I don't get confidence. I get brave, which results in confidence. So confidence isn't something that I can get, but brave action will lead to confidence. And I learned that because I taught a course on confidence and my research in it. I was like, oh, it's not something that you can get. It's something that you develop by being brave and again and again and again. And a low is I still struggle with some scarcity mindset. I still struggle with some scarcity mindset, like, well, maybe there's not enough, and maybe they won't want to work with me, and maybe it's too expensive, and maybe you have that voice too that talks to you. She sounds like you. Yeah. Okay, so why do we do this? Highs and lows. Well, high, that's what we want to repeat. Some other of my highs are I'm great and flow. Last year, I only used slides. I had a script for every workshop, and it was so boring. I was so stressed out about it, and it was so boring. I didn't even want to watch it again. Now I have abandoned all the slides. I do not have a script. I barely even have notes, and there's scribbles in my notebook. They come in meditation, and I have a blast. I can't wait for the calls. I can't wait for the workshop. I can't wait for the podcast because I've abandoned the crutch of the patriarchy and I've leaned into the flow. I get the divine downloads now and I run with them. And I'm not afraid to fail anymore. So I'm going to repeat that. No slides in 2025. And then another low is I still have some trust issues with the universe. Like, hey, God, maybe you're not going to come through for me this time, even though you have every time, but maybe not this time. Anybody relate to that? Maybe it's not going to work out for me this time, even though that's what I teach, even though it has every time, maybe not this time. What does that tell me? Well, no, first tells me that I need to keep doing things that make me feel in flow. So I'm going to repeat the highs and I'm going to learn from the lows, which means my intentions for 2025 will center around growth in abundance mindset and growth in trust. Growth in abundance mindset, which is the opposite of scarcity mindset, and growth in trust. So that's my intention for how I will grow. It sounds like we've got some intentions in health on the call. It sounds like we've got intentions in finances on the call. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So we're taking those lessons and we're repeating the highs and we're intending for growth in the lows. We're not trying to stop scarcity mindset. Remember, we can't stop anything. We can only replace it with something more beautiful, more abundant, more in overflow. Okay, so great work. We're moving on. This is so fun. Are you also having fun? Having a blast. Okay. Okay, so this next one is my favorite question to ask. And every client that works with me gets this question. Now that you're in the podcast, now that you're in the Miracle membership, now that you're in the community, you get to hear this question over and over and over. And when we think about 2025, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to ask it 3 times, and then we're going to write on whatever comes up. And I invite you to let it come up from your heart. Let it come up from your stomach, your seat of power. Let it come up from your loins. What would you love? Ask your mind to set aside, because the mind will only tell you that what's possible is something you've already done. So instead, let's drop into our heart and ask her, What would you love? What would you love for 2025? You've got your wand, you've waved the wand. What would you love in health? What would you love in relationships? What would you love in financial freedom? What would you love in career, creative expression? What would you love in time and personal freedom? What would you love? My favorite question. What would you love? Please don't go to your mind, because your mind will try to tell me what you think is possible. And I want to remind you that you are a perfect creation of the Creator, a piece of the Master, a masterpiece. So we're going beyond possible. We're going into the heart space, and I'm going to play the music and give us 2 minutes to write down as if it's happening right now. I'm so happy and grateful now. And then write what you would love. We're at the end of 2025. Tell me about it. What would you love? What would you love for 2025 in your health? What would you love in your finances? Give it a number. Give those finances a number. What would you love in the bedroom, on the dating scene? Even if you're married, on the dating scene. What would you love in your career, your creative expression, the way you're making impact in the world? Let's get that all out from your heart. What would you love? What would you love? I'm so happy and grateful now. More seconds. All right, you got it? At least one thing that you would love. I'm going to say, I'm so happy and grateful now. You're bringing it into the present, because remember, the present is all there is. December 2025 doesn't even exist. The only thing that exists is now. And so I want you to bring to heart, bring to mind, bring to body. How does that feel to have that amount that you love, to have that health that you love, to have that intimacy that you love, to have that connection that you love, to have that purpose and alignment and financial freedom and wealth and generosity? Can you feel that now? Have it now, the feelings of having it now. Knowing now is all there is. Those feelings are available to you now. I think that when I have $1 million, I'm finally going to feel okay and abundant and wealthy. But what I learned is I can feel okay and wealthy and abundant right now. And it's the feelings of already having it and already experiencing it that make me a magnet for it. So we don't have to wait until December 2025. We can receive the feelings of having it now. And as we do that, we embody those feelings. I'm going to ask you the final set of questions, and it's a 3-parter, okay? It's a 3-parter, and you're going to have 3 minutes to write. Now you know what you would love. And I want to just say that if you work with me in either the small group experience, the Dream Builder experience, or as a VIP one-on-one client, we get really specific to the answer of the question, what would you love in all of the domains of life? We blueprint it out, we infuse it with energy, we learn how to raise our vibration so we become receivers for it instead of chasers of it. And so if you're interested in that, please reach out. I'd love to invite you to apply to one of those experiences. But for now, what you've written is enough. It's plenty, what you would love. And so the next question is, okay, now you've got your dream of what you would love. You're feeling the feelings of having it now. Now let's go to action, because remember, the results formula starts with a thought. It goes to a feeling, which leads to an action. And there are 3 actions to serve your dream. And that's what we're doing right now, serving our dream. The first one is, what do I need to stop doing to serve my dream? What do I need to stop doing to serve my dream? So if my dream is abundance and finances, I need to stop worrying about money, yelling at my husband about money, stressing about money, budgeting in my head instead of on paper. So the question here, part A, is what do I need to stop doing to serve my dream? The second, part B, is what do I need to start doing to serve my dream? So if your dream is financial freedom, what we can start doing is generating abundant energy, opening a high yield savings account, maybe putting $10 in it so it starts to immediately make money. Maybe it's getting a budgeting app. Maybe it's hiring a finance coach. What do I need to start doing to serve my dream? Because I can't just stop. The universe doesn't operate in a vacuum. Anything I stop, I need to replace it with something else. So if I need to stop overspending, then I can start spending within the framework of a gorgeous budget. What do I need to start doing to serve my dream? And the final question is, I'm already doing some things well. So what do I need to continue doing to serve my dream? Typing that in the chat. What do I need to continue doing to serve my dream? So for instance, if I want to generate financial freedom and financial wealth, one thing I love doing that I will continue to do is being generous and giving away the first 10% of everything I make. I will continue doing that as a way to serve my dream of financial freedom. So the questions for you now are, you've got a dream that you would love. The 3 questions that you'll ask: A, what do I need to stop doing to serve my dream? B, what do I need to start doing to serve my dream? And C, what do I need to continue doing to serve my dream? And we'll set the timer for, let's do 90 seconds. Let's make it quick and dirty, okay? Stop, start, and continue. 90 seconds. what am I stopping to serve my dream? What am I starting to serve my dream of what I would love, a life I love? What am I doing that already works? What am I continuing to do? Last 10 seconds, stop, start, continue. Serve that big, beautiful dream. Feel it now. All right. So I had some good things come up too, specifically the things that I want to continue doing. So let's go with the same example of I want to create financial freedom. So I've told you what I'm going to stop doing. And I also am going to start every Friday. I say I'm going to have a money date, and it happens about 2 Fridays a month. So I'm going to start putting it in my calendar, the money date that I have, which if you don't know about money dates, you need to go to barrytessler.com right now and find out about money dates because they're so fun. They transform the way I interacted with money. So I'm going to start weekly money dates on Friday, which is my favorite day of the week. And I'm going to, in those money dates, calendar out the expenses from the week and the expenses coming up in the next week. And then the thing I wrote that I'm going to continue doing is having money dates, talking about money as often as I can, both with my family and with this community, because I think women don't do enough talking about money, which is just a symbol for our freedom, and then teaching about money as well. So my own money work, and then sharing it with you immediately. Okay, so we've asked 7 really gorgeous questions. The first one is, what were our highlights, the joy, the gratitude, the things we're proud of? The second question is what the hardest parts were and what lessons we learned from them as a result. The third question is, what did I learn about myself this year? The fourth question is, what would I love? What would I love in 2025? And then the next 3 are, what am I doing to stop, start, and continue doing to serve that dream of what I would love? What would I love? What's the dream? And the last question I want to ask is to ground us in one baby step action. Remembering we're not waiting for January 1st. That's an illusion. So the question is, as we close out a reflection, what's one thing I can do today that will move me in the direction of my dream? And I want to challenge you to let it take 5 minutes or less. What's one thing that takes 5 minutes or less that I can do today, maybe right now after this call, that will move me in the direction of my dream? Go ahead and write that down. One thing I can do right now in 5 minutes or less that will move me in the direction of the dream I have for 2025. Write that down now. Got your action, your one action you can take in 5 minutes or less? Me a nod. Yeah, so the action I chose is I'm creating a calendar invite for all of my weekly money dates and adding it to my calendar with a standing agenda. And that will take me 5 minutes or less because I love a calendar invite and I love a good standing agenda. Friend, you did it. Celebrating you, celebrating the gorgeous miracles of 2024, celebrating your willingness to show up today to this call, to this podcast, wherever you're tuning in, to reflect back in a beautiful way, making decisions on what you're letting go, what you're letting burn, what you're letting die, what you're leaving in 2024. and deciding what you're packing in your adventure backpack and walking into 2025 with. It's not a new year. You don't need a new you. We simply need to decide, what are we becoming? What are we carrying with us? What are we available for? What are we showing up for? What are we open to receiving? That dream of a life you absolutely love. So I encourage you, my friend, to continue the reflection, to continue to reflect back, and join us here again next week. We are going to be setting intentions specifically for a gorgeous year ahead. And I'm going to sign off by reminding you, if you haven't heard it today, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so proud of you. And I believe in your ability to create a gorgeous, abundant life you love. Thank you, friend. See you here next time.